Alright, family, so I'm going to give you a story that came out of CNN Business saying that middle class black Americans react to economy under Biden. So I'm going to play the video for you guys and we're going to analyze what exactly they are saying. Okay?
Really tough.
How tough have the last 2 years been?
Woo! The last 2 years have been really tough.
The pandemic and inflation have hit Americans hard.
Yes, it has been very tough under Biden, with some of which, or most of you, have voted for black Americans.
Increasing long-standing disparities in some communities, and African Americans want the president's attention.
As a middle class,
Yeah, but unfortunately, you're not going to get his attention. You're not. Sorry. He's not going to give you any full attention, all right? He's too focused on Ukraine. He's too focused on the LGBT community, all right? He's too focused on Taiwan, all right? He's so busy, helping out all these other groups of people outside of black. All right, we have an open border policy right now, letting in all these illegals, okay? So, sorry, he's not going to give your full attention.
black woman, I don't see the push for the black economic community like really exploding. I think
Exactly. I mean, a lot of people say that black people were doing better when it was under Trump. But we had to get the Trump out of there, right?
the message is being delivered, but I don't think the message is being captured in the way that we want it to be captured.
What did you expect? The same guy who said that if you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
Black Americans account for $1.6 trillion of spending power in the United States, but often feel ignored.
We want ours. We need ours. We need to have access to capital. We want...
Exactly. We need to have capital in our community. Right.
action. We need action. We demand action.
Earlier this summer, Vice President Kamala Harris announced new public-private initiatives in underserved communities, hoping to kickstart major minority investments.
And I believe, given the breadth of the financial disparities in our nation, the public and the private sector must join forces.
I heard the guy said underserved communities. Who is being underserved, okay? We don't like those terminologies, by the way. To the person who is reporting on this, we're not called underserved communities, okay? We're called black community. Get it right.
To take on these challenges.
And as far as Kamala Harris goes, do you think she really cares? No. Because this is the same person who said that I'm not going to do anything that just benefits only black people. No. Same person. Remember that.
Thousands of African Americans travel from all over the country to InvestFest in Atlanta in hopes of learning the keys to financial literacy and starting their own businesses. This at a time when African American unemployment is nearly twice the national average. Those here tell me creating jobs is a priority.
And that's exactly what we're doing right now. We need to create our own jobs. That's just the way it's going to have to be. Government jobs, it's all well, fine, and good, but if you're working under a government job, you're basically under their rulership. And you don't really have a say-so on what to do. So, these employers can fire you at any given moment based on the history of black Americans, not being treated right on the jobs. They're always getting, harder jobs to do, get paid less, while the other folks, they get lighter jobs, and they move all the way up to supervisor, managers, over the ones who've been there a long time, skipping, the ones who deserve it, really. So, yeah, creating your own business is key to success. And that's exactly what a lot of us Black Americans are doing right now.
Black community has a pre-existing pipeline to prison, but we don't have a pre-existing pipeline to wealth.
Film, TV star, and producer Tyler Perry and Steve Harvey helped headline this event, which is all about education and investing. It's the brainchild of these four men who helped create Earn Your Leisure, a financial literacy movement focused on helping Black Americans.
This is a movement, and we call it that very intentionally. Right? We grew up and heard things about the March on Washington, right, and the Civil Rights Movement, and that had its time. But right now, we're in the financial revolution.
We need to figure out how we can actually attack from the highest level and build our own venture capital funds and have our own private equity firms and do international business. And then we don't actually have to demand that politicians do anything. We can force them to do things. We force them to do things by money.
Correct. Because all these other groups, the Hispanics, the Asians, they buy off these politicians every day, man. Yes, and even the white supremacist class, which both of the two are part of, the majority of them. Not talking about the individuals, but the majority of the Asians and Hispanics are all a part of the white supremacist class. And what do? They buy off politicians to advance their agendas. There's nothing wrong with that. If they're doing it, why can't we do it? Make demands all you want, but if we have enough money and equity in our community, we can start buying these politicians and force them to do things what we want them to do. That is exactly correct.
A recent poll found that 55% of Black and 48% of Latino adults say they are currently facing serious financial problems due to inflation. For white adults, it's 38%.
Wait, let me back up real quick. All right, you see that number. 55% Blacks, 48% Latinos, 27% whites facing serious financial problems right now under Joe Biden. I mean, the same guy who says that the African American community have my back and I have yours. Well, look at this. 55%? That don't seem like having our backs, Joe Biden. Unless you're talking about a knife to the back, yeah, sure. But continue.
It's 38%.
The wealth disparity between blacks and whites was greater in 2018 than 1968. But everything we do needs to be focused on advancing opportunity economically.
Don Peebles beat the odds. His companies control more than $7 billion worth of investments. He believes African Americans need more direct investment from the Biden administration.
I know.
Yeah, he said 2018, which was under Trump. All right.
President Biden, I've known him for many years. He's a very good person. I believe that he is
a very good person. 1994 crime bill that locked up a lot of black people, but let off the white folks that were doing the similar crimes. If you want to talk about good, then okay, fine, whatever. And the same guy who said that if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Gotta make sure to point that out there.
Missing the mark on his most loyal and valuable constituency, because without black voters, he would be a private citizen.
With the midterms looming, Democrats will count on African Americans to turn out and vote, but many are hoping for
constituency, because without black voters, he would be a private citizen. Missing the mark on his most loyal years. He's a very good person. I believe that he is missing the mark on his most loyal and valuable constituency, because without very good person, I believe that he is missing the mark on his most loyal and valuable constituency. I believe that he is missing the mark on his most loyal and valuable constituency, because without black voters, he would be a private citizen.
With the midterms looming, Democrats will count on.
Did you hear that? He said without black voters, he would be a private citizen. Let me go back to it one more time.
Valuable constituency, because without black voters, he would be a private citizen.
With the midterms looming, Democrats will count on African Americans to turn out and vote, but many are hoping for a return on their long-term investment.
Well, exactly. Give us the policies that we want, and we vote for you. Plain and simple. That whole talk about, oh, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Nope. No. At that point, you don't get my vote. You don't. If you want to spew racist garbage like that, Joe Biden, then F you. You ain't getting my vote. And Kamala Harris, you too. Always cackling at the hard questions when you only want to answer the easy questions. You don't want to talk about reparations, right? You just cackle every freaking time when a hardball question is thrown at you, and you try to change the narrative or change the conversation to what you want to talk about, just dancing around the question. So neither one of you will get my vote unless you give us the policies that we want. And you know what they are. Don't play stupid now.
Poor people vote, rich people lobby. At the end of the day, if we want to get something done, we got to vote with our dollar.
Ryan Young, CNN, Atlanta, Georgia.
Vote with your dollars. Exactly. Now, this is what these guys are saying. All right, this is what these guys are saying out of CNN. Okay, CNN reported on this, which is a left-wing media news outlet. All right. Despite the growth of black middle class, African Americans still grapple with the worst effects of rising inflation because they lag behind their white counterparts in income, wealth, financial savings, and homeownership. But yes, this is how the middle class black Americans feel right now. Okay? Not a word of Trump was mentioned. You hear me? Not a word of Trump was mentioned in this whole video right here. All right? I'm going to repeat that again. Not a word of Trump nor the Republicans were mentioned in this little short video. So what does that tell you? Democrats need to get their stuff together. Give us policies that we want, and you get our votes. But what the guys were saying though is vote with your dollars. All right? Not your emotions. I'm just ad-libbing with that one. Vote with your dollars, not your emotions. Okay? Who gives a crap about Donald Trump and the Republicans? Racism been exist since the beginning of time. You understand? It ain't about Republican, Democrat, who's better than what, or which party is better. Like, it's not about that. It's all about policies. Because at the end of the day, your vote is all about business. It's just business. Understand that. Okay? Now, I want to switch over to another piece of news right here. And this will be a quick one. So let's watch this real quick.
They don't feel safe even though they're surrounded by a vibrant and tight-knit community. Asian Americans make up more than a third of San Francisco's population, but according to a poll by the Chronicle, they feel less safe in the city than other groups.
Even with $50 million and a hate crime bill, y'all still don't feel safe. Okay then.
NBC Bears Gia Vang with what it means for the city's future.
I think that people need to feel safe.
This is Brian Zito, and you can say he's made his way around San Francisco.
Well, I was raised in the Sunset. Then I kind of moved around the city. I lived in Russian Hill for a little bit, Richmond District, and now I'm in Ocean View.
He's a native of a city he's had his fondest memories in, a city he says is changing. Brian, who is Chinese and Filipino, says in the last couple of years he's had people close to him find themselves in situations where they end up being verbally harassed about their ethnic background.
Now hold up, let me back up real quick. Look at this guy right here, this homeless guy. He don't look black. He wasn't a black person, just so you know.
Verbally harassed about their ethnic background. He's also witnessed break-ins and robberies, one he saw just last week.
And I just kind of felt, unsafe, obviously, but it's just so normalized now. I just felt like it shouldn't be like this. I don't remember this being this bad.
Yep.
Well, when you have a poor economy, people resort to crime. People don't want to talk about that. Okay? The economy is so poor in California. It's like, what do you think is going to happen? People are going to resort to crime in order to survive. That's basically what it comes down to. When you have a poor economy, you have homelessness, you have crime. People resorting to selling drugs on the street.
Nearly 300,000 Asians and Pacific Islanders call San Francisco home. That's about a third of the city's population. Hundreds of them participated in a poll by the Chronicle measuring how people feel about the city. 38% of Asian respondents saying safety and crime is their top concern.
All right, now hold on. Let me look at the numbers real quick. So homelessness and safety and crime, all right? So homelessness, 48%, if you just look at that real close, 48% say of the black community say 40% of homelessness. Crime and safety, 7%. All right, and this is based off of the percentage of San Franciscans who said homelessness or safety crime was the city's biggest problem. Responses to the question of the problems facing people living in San Francisco. Which problem needs fixing most urgently? Okay. So, back to this. So 48% of black people say homelessness, 7% say crime. Mixed says 45% on homelessness, 11% on crime. Whites say 43% on homelessness, 16% on crime. Hispanics, 41% on homelessness, 14% on crime. Asians, 31% homelessness, 38% crime. But here's the thing. Homeless people, if like I said, if you have a poor economy, then homelessness happens. And then crime happens. So, in order to clean up crime, you gotta fix the economy. Meaning, get the homelessness under control by fixing the economy. And with that, crime goes down. So,
saying
continue.
Safety and crime is their top concern.
It's good to have someone validate how we're feeling.
Reverend Norman Fong is a longtime community leader and activist in Chinatown.
So right now we can't depend on the the city, because there's too many different issues, homelessness, like you said, and other people see drugs as the problems and all that. So Asian hate doesn't get up there.
I thought the beginning of 2021, when Joe Biden was elected, anti-Asian hate was the priority. And they used black people as the ones to blame for the anti-Asian hate crimes, which that was like way far from the truth. And at the same time, now you know how black people feel, how we're being treated with constant hate crimes over and over and over again by the white supremacists. Now here's the thing, AAPI community, much like how you freely came into this country under your own will, you can easily take the money that you have and move back to your homeland under your own free will. You have the power to do that. You know that, right?
For the future, the poll found only 14% of Asian respondents said the city would be better in 2 years, and that the group has little faith in the city's leaders. The safety of the AAPI community could force changing demographics for the city. More than 1,600 people were polled, and the most pressing issue for those who identified as white, black, Hispanic, or mixed was homelessness. In San Francisco, Gia Vang, NBC, Bay Area News.
Well, here's what I say. If it caused a change in the demographics, then so be it. So be it, okay? Like I said, the same way you came into this country on your own free will, you can just go back on your own free will. And I promise you, you won't be missed. From my end, you won't be missed. And I'm pretty sure people in the FBA community will agree. You won't be missed. Sorry, but I'm not sorry. So anyway, that'll conclude this video, people. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you all next time. Peace.